Good evening, I'm Sapsanamma. Let's begin with the headlines of the hour. Central Investigation Bureau records statement from parliamentarian and industrialist Binod Chaudhary in relation to Bashbari leather and shoe factories land grab scam. Victims of Surya Dasan cooperatives filed complaint at the State Affairs and Good Governance Committee for their deposits to be returned. Also demand for the arrest of operator GB Rai. At least 100 Palestinians killed by Israeli attacks across Gaza in the last 24 hours. Israeli Prime Minister tells US Republican senators Israel will continue the war to defeat Hamas. And Team Nepal set to play Bahrain in the first leg of the second round of FIFA World Cup 2026 and AFC Asian Cup 2027 qualifiers. Central Investigation Bureau CIB of Nepal Police has a recorded statement from Nepali Congress Central Member and the Member of House of Representatives, industrialist Binod Chaudhary, in relation to Bashbari leather and shoe factories land grab scam. The CIB recorded statement from him, which was observed by the District Government Attorney Office, Kathmandu. Only yesterday, the Bureau had informed Speaker of the House of Representatives, Devraj Khemire, regarding the investigations on Chaudhary. According to an official of the Bureau, discussions had been held regarding the involvement of the lawmaker in the Bashbari leather and shoe factory land grab scam, and the entity was proceeding on the basis of conclusions made. Prior to this, CIB had arrested lawmaker Chaudhary's brother and chair and managing director of CG Holdings, Arun Chaudhary, on 1st of February. Erstwhile chair of Bashbari leather and shoe factory, Ajit Narayan Singh Thapa, and chair of the Operators Committee, Sanjay Thakur, were also arrested. Minister for Home Affairs Ravi Lamichhane had initiated procedures to return the 10 ropani of land of the factory to the government and had directed the Bureau to investigate Binod Chaudhary. On the next day of Lamichhane's directive to the Bureau, Chaudhary had claimed at the House of Representatives that he had no role in the scam. Proprietor of Sarada Distillery of Siraha, Pramod Goenka, has absconded after the Inland Revenue Department, Lahan, sealed the factory. Kantipur Television had made public the Sarada Distillery of Golbazar Municipality 9, Siraha, had been evading tax by splitting into half the sticker of the Inland Revenue Department. Goenka absconded after the department summoned him to collect his statement. Head of the Inland Revenue Department, Lahan, Punya Rijal, has said that Goenka had absconded to India. Victims of Surya Dasan Saving and Cooperatives of Pokhara have filed a complaint at the State Affairs and Good Governance Committee demanding to make required arrangement for their deposits to be returned. The Victims Struggle Committee presented the complaint to the President of the State Affairs and Good Governance Committee, Ram Hari Khatiwada, earlier today. They say that the cooperatives has not paid a total of 1,400 billion rupees of 18,700 depositors since the past 2 years. They have also demanded for the arrest of the cooperatives operator GB Rai and take actions against him. They have demanded justice, saying that individuals who had invested their deposits in television have remained unaccountable. 14 individuals alleged of involvement in the cooperative scandal are still absconding. They have also complained that investigation had not been carried out on the case filed against then Managing Director of Gorkha Media Network, Ravi Lamichhane, on 5th of February. The committee's president, Khatiwara, said that the government must address the issues of the victims. He expressed confidence on the government to provide justice to the victims of the cooperatives. He also added that the committee would hold a discussion in this regard and urged the government to make efforts to address the problems of the cooperatives' victims. The government has decided to appoint 4 individuals in vacant posts at the National Planning Commission. The meeting of the Council of Ministers held in Singhadarbar decided to appoint Araniko Pandey of Lalitpur, Sangeeta Singh of Kathmandu, Kusharendra Bahadur Mahat of Jumla and Shivaraj Adhikari of Palpa as the members of the National Planning Commission. 4 members of the commission had resigned following the formation of the current coalition government. Likewise, the meeting also decided to promote Joint Secretary Churamani Portal to post of Secretary. Minister for Physical Infrastructure and Transport Management Raghubir Mahaset has given assurances of addressing the problem of lack of budget for projects of infrastructure development under the ministry. At a program organized in Nepalganj, Minister Mahasid directed the officials of Road Division Office in Lumbini, Karnali and Sudur Paschim to work without political pressure and influence. He also clarified that works of infrastructure development will not be halted under any pretext. He said that the works of the officials of the department will be evaluated based on their eligibility. 10 heads of road division and engineers of Karnali, Lumbini and Sudur Paschim provinces had participated in the program. It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, what's your take on the investigation on Terramux procurement scandal becoming sluggish? Your options are A, result of nexus, B, disregarding good governance, and C, procedural delay. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Welcome back. It's time now for international update. Over 100 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli attacks across Gaza in the last 24 hours. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told U.S. Republican senators that Israel will continue the war to defeat Hamas. Israel's raid on Al-Shifa hospital in the Gaza city has entered its fourth day, with dozens killed and displaced Palestinians sheltering there, describing long detentions and abuse. In the meantime, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has begun a tour of the Middle East by holding talks in Saudi Arabia before heading to Egypt earlier today for talks with Arab ministers. At least 31,988 Palestinians have been killed and 74,188 have been injured in Israeli attacks on Gaza since October 7. The revised death toll in Israel from Hamas's October 7 attack stands at 1,139, with dozens taken captive. Russia launched a missile attack on Kiev, the Ukrainian capital, earlier today, injuring at least 10 people and damaging residential buildings and industrial facilities, city officials have said, although air defenses downed all the missiles. The first large attack in recent weeks targeted the city with both ballistic and cruise missiles, said Serhiy Popko, the head of its military administration. Mayor Vitaly Klitschko said at least 10 people were injured across the city. An 11-year-old girl was among the 2 people taken to hospital. Ukraine's air defenses shot down all 31 Russian missiles targeting the capital. Popko said the Russian military used strategic bombers and also launched some missiles from its territory. While following complicated maneuvers in neighboring regions, the missiles targeted the city from different directions. Air alerts lasted for nearly 3 hours. Klitschko said missile debris hit several residential buildings, industrial sites and a kindergarten across the city. Residents of a multi-story building in the central district of Shevchenkivsky were evacuated after one of the apartments caught fire. The attack also shattered windows in several houses nearby and set private cars ablaze. Chittagong, the second largest city in Bangladesh, is facing a severe water crisis amid drastic increases in the salinity of its primary water source, the Karnafuli River. Empty buckets, pitchers and containers are usually seen lining the city streets near pumps where rationed water is provided intermittently. The salinity of Karnafuli River has increased as climate change-induced sea level rises cause the intrusion of salt water upstream from the nearby Bay of Bengal, rendering the water untreatable and undrinkable. Saline water is undrinkable due to its high salt content, which can lead to dehydration and health issues. According to World Health Organization, consuming water with elevated salinity levels can disrupt the body's electrolyte balance, causing hypertension, kidney problems and other health complications.
সমস্যা আমরা সপ্তাহের ভিতরে একবার পানি পাই অথবা দুই সপ্তাহের ভিতরে একবার পানি পাই। আমরা থাকি গরিব মানুষ বস্তি করে এখানে মনে করেন কম টাকার ভিতরে ভাড়া থাকি। এখন পানি যদি পানিও না পাই, গ্যাসও নাই, লাকড়ি জ্বালাই, অনেক কষ্ট আমগো দিন যাপন যায়।
আর পানি তো যদি না আসে ধরেন না বিভিন্ন রকমের চলাফেরাতে কষ্ট হয়ে যায়, গোসল করা, খাওয়ার পানি মানে বাচ্চাদেরকে পরিষ্কার করে রাখা, বাচ্চাদের মানে বিভিন্ন রকমের সমস্যা হয়ে যায়, কেননা অনেক নোংরা পানিগুলো আমাদের থেকে ব্যবহার করতে হয়। ডেফা আছে এখানে, ডেফা তো এগুলো আমাদেরকে ব্যবহার করতে দেয় না, এগুলো সরকারি আন্ডারে সরকারি লোক ছাড়া এগুলো ব্যবহার করতে দেয় না। টুকটাক মানুষ যদি ব্যবহার করে অবৈধভাবে ব্যবহার করে।
The crisis comes as the bustling port city, home to more than 8 million people, is bracing for the fast-approaching, sweltering heat of summer, and as much of its population is fasting from dawn to dusk during the Muslim holy month of Ramadan.
এক মাস আগে পানির বোতল পুরো রাখছে, ওই পানি দিয়ে আমরা স্থির করতে হয়েছে। তো এই বিগত আজকে 2-3 দিন আগে পানিগুলো আসছে, আসার পরে আমরা ড্রামে, বোতলে, কলসিতে পুরো রাখছি। এখন আবার 2-3 দিন নাই, যে পানিগুলো জমানো ছিল এগুলো আমরা ব্যবহার করতেছি বর্তমানে।
The current salinity levels of harvested water from the Karnafuli River reaches up to 3,500 milligrams of chloride per litre, far above the standard set by Bangladesh at 600. A spokesperson for the Chinese Foreign Ministry said earlier today that China strongly deplores and firmly opposes the U.S., saying Arunachal Pradesh is part of India. The U.S. State Department had said yesterday that the U.S. government recognizes Arunachal Pradesh as part of India and strongly opposes any unilateral attempts to advance territorial claims in the northeastern Indian state that shares a border with China. At least 20 Indian and 4 Chinese soldiers were killed back in 2020 in clashes along their border in the western Himalayas. The militaries of both countries have fortified positions and deployed extra troops and equipment along the border since those clashes. Both sides fought a border war in 1962. Leaders from pro-nuclear European countries and energy experts are set to call for a nuclear energy revival today at a summit in Brussels, seeking to rebuild the European industry after years of gradual decline. The political push to expand nuclear, a low-carbon energy source, is part of the drive to meet Europe's ambitious climate targets. But it faces headwinds, including a lack of investment and cost overruns and delays that have plagued recent projects.
The strategic autonomy of the EU is the top priority in my opinion, and we know that the energy sector is fundamental for our future, for our ability to control our future, and it's why we know that the nuclear is one source that can help us to tackle the climate crisis on the one hand, and it can help us to build our strategic autonomy.
The need to find alternatives to Russian gas following Moscow's invasion of Ukraine in 2022 and the EU's commitment to cut net greenhouse gas emissions by 55% by the year 2030 has renewed interest in nuclear power. However, EU nations remain divided on whether to promote nuclear energy, with 2 entrenched camps, one led by France that believes nuclear expansion is crucial, and the other including anti-nuclear countries Austria and Germany, who want the focus to stay on renewable sources such as wind and solar. That is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.